Everybody, it's me, Andrew. Get out into nature and tune in for yourself. Resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field via 432 Hertz, the universal frequency. Balance out psychologically and emotionally and further strengthen your brain and your heart's coherence as well. Get a plant-based diet going for yourselves today and nurture yourself right back into life. We are literally herbivores in our nature. Further balance out your physical body's pH level and to get with alkalinity. Then you can generate some static electricity, sending me some love telepathically, set attention to your mind, and set intention to communicate. That is all there is to telepathy. You are now tuning in to great days. So today I wanted to talk about Turya, right? I'm going to go over Turya, what it is, um, very simply, as simple as I can put it. And Turya being eternal. Okay, so let's get into this. Um, so Turiya is pretty much a you maybe call it a type of practice, right? Maybe a type of way. Turiya is pretty much it's a certain type of alignment, right? Or I'll put it like this: Turiya is coming to consciousness or awareness of multiple dimensions of flow or coming to consciousness of the soul, right? So, what I mean by this is that when you are practicing Turiya or when you are in Turiya, you are self aware of your soul, which is eternal, right? So, this is why Turiya is simply eternity, and it can actually bring you into the deathless state, right? Transcendence of physical mortality. Okay, so let me see. I got to kind of organize myself here a bit. Um, so you begin Turiya with the observation of yourself, right? On a few different dimensions here. Um, you observe first the action, right? Or you observe the body's action, which is a flow of energy. So you can observe this, right? And this is, you can correspond this with one dimension or a dimension. And then you begin to, after expanding the observation or after expanding the awareness into the action of the flow of this dimension, then you are able to come into observation of the mental or the psyche, right? The thought. So you're having action and you're having thought. They're both flowing. They're both energetical flows, right? Or energetical flux, you can say. But what you want to do is you want to observe them. You want to observe one. You want to observe both, right? Because normally they're going to be all over the place because you're always scattering your energy because there's no discipline, especially for the subtleties of the energy bodies, right? Um, and with the way things are set up and regularized, it goes against the subtleties of your energetical bodies because there's multiple. So Turiya is one of the things that you can do for yourself, or you can come into Turiya to be able to expand your awareness into the soul, something eternal, right? So you do this by watching the various different flows, once again, of the dimensions of energy. So there's the action and there's the thought that we're at. You have thought, that's a flow of energy, right? So what you got to do is you got to observe your thought process and just observe it, right? Uh, and then you can slowly go into a third dimension of your flow of energy, which would be the emotions, right? So you have emotions, you have thoughts, and you have physical action, right? All these are interlinked, you know, but they're all flowing in different dimensions, directions, right? So you kind of have to. That's what the observation is for. You kind of have to observe them, each of these, um, to expand into another dimension, an apex, right? That apex is going to allow you to expand dimensionally, which is into the soul, which is a gateway to something beyond the physical, the mind, and emotion, right? So coming into the awareness of the soul completely changes the experience that you're having prior to expanding or growing into that dimension of the soul, right? So the soul is sound. So you're expanding into sound body, a subtler dimension of energy, right? Um, Soul, the environment. You're expanding into this light, which is even a subtler dimension, but they're the same, right? So what you want to do is you just want to observe yourself, right? You can observe your thought, you can observe your action, you can observe your emotion. Observe your emotions. Observe these as a trinity, and you align into expansion, or you align and there is expansion as a result of that trinitizing alignment, right? So the trinity is the action, the mind, or the action, the thought process, the mind, the body, and the emotions, the heart, the core. And out of the core, you can expand further into the soul, right? Um, so that comes with it an eternity, right? As you grow into that dimension of the soul, if you aren't expanding into that consciously, then there's still a misalignment taking place geometrically, and that misalignment is due to the misobservation. So there's not enough light to be able to bring resonance into the geometry, your geometry, because you're a geometry. Your body is a geometry. Your mind is geometry. Your emotion is geometry. Everything is geometry. Math, everything is math. So if there's alignment in the system, or if there's misalignment in the system, there's a maybe disconnection, or there's a unresonance, or disresonance, right? So so Turya is the expansion, is expanding into that dimension of awareness, which is soul. And as you expand into that dimension, you can you can come into an eternity or eternal life, right? Masculine, feminine, conjoining the polarities of energy. We all have masculine and feminine energy because we're all born from a mother and a father. So we have a dominant anatomy, but we have both energy polarities because everything in the universe is manifest transversely out of these polarities, polarization, a dual polarization. But the moment that you commune those, then you can come into the core, the heart, and then you can apex uh, transcendentally, right? Which that is the point of Turya, to apex transcendentally, um, grow your awareness into the soul, which is eternal in its nature. The soul doesn't die, right? And it knows that. So the moment that you're able to expand your awareness into the soul, then you are, or you can also utilize the omniscience of the soul, right? Or the knowledge of the soul, which the knowledge of the soul contains within it eternity or immortality or eternity. Okay, there's many different aspects of immortality, so just eternities. Uh, right. So Turiya would just be aligning yourself geometrically. It's yoga. It's yogic. So aligning your geometries, the geometries of your body, of your mind, and of your emotion, allows you to to expand yourself geometrically into the dimension of the soul. And that's what you want because that's the growth, that is what is needed. And that's what is inevitable as well because life is about aligning yourself. You come into alignment and you can disalign if you want or misalign yourself, but you're gonna align yourself. That's the inevitability of being here, right? So that's how you're gonna inevitably grow into the soul. It's just that you can utilize Turiya for yourself to be able to accelerate that, right? Otherwise, it remains an unconscious process and it's not actualized. It's not able to come into fruition, right? It's not able to flower itself properly. So Turiya is the conscious way of doing it, you know. And all it takes is the observation. Once again, the consciousness. You got to observe yourself on multiple different in multiple different aspects, multiple dimensions, which would be the Trinity, the emotions, the mind, and the physical action. You can start with the action. You can slowly get into the mind, and then you can get into the emotions. Right, the emotions are concealed a lot of the or modern day they're concealed. I want to say or the societal regularization is kind of keeping people away from emotion for the most part and putting them in the mind or in the thought process that is overstimulated, right? So it's imbalanced in that way. So what you got to do is you got to balance it back out through the observation and align. The alignment will take place itself. All you got to do is observe it, right? And then once you come into the soul, the dimension of the soul, the fourth, then you got illumination, which is flame, which is a tetrahedron. The tetrahedron is the platonic solid for flame. right? So the moment you align the three flows of energy, they can expand into a third dimension or a fourth dimension, which would be the tetrahedron, right? the flame. So then that's why you're able to see something beyond life, right? Which is of the soul, and it's eternal. So if you're practicing Turya right, then you can easily peer into eternity, or you can see into eternity, or you can experience eternity, right? And you can have an experience beyond the emotion, beyond the mind, and beyond the physical existence, right? With the alignment of the three. So you got to use the three as a foundational alignment to be able to apex and illuminate that aspect of the soul, right? Which is eternal. And then you're able to experience something eternal, and you work from there. You can expand into multiple dimensions from there, because the tetrahedron is the basis of uh, of a lot, right? Of a law, the all, flame. So let me see, Turya. I guess you can. All you got to do really is to observe yourself on these three levels: the thought, the body, the actions of the body, the thought of the mind, and the emotions, your feelings, right? Just observe these. And two years come. So then you can expand, you can grow as a being into eternity, and you go from there. Something is going to be gifted from that. The eternal presence, right? Presence, gifts. And that's pretty much it. That's all you really got to do. So, do thank everybody for watching. Once again, peace out, one love, and have a great evening.